As you know that Mara River is a transboundary river, and it cuts across 3 counties in Kenya. That is Nakuru, where the source of the river, that is at Buya, where we have the upper Amala and the upper Nyangores. We come to the upper mid zone where we have the Nyangores and other rivers, and downstream we have rivers in the Mara game reserves. To mention just a few, towards the Nakuru County, we have not had a good relationship actually to work with. In their works, they don't involve the Mara Dua. So we have very little our relationship with the county government of Nakuru is not that very good, but we are working forward to at least have a good working relationship with them. We have now the Bomet County. Bomet County have been very, very much positive towards the Mara River Basin. In fact, of late we were forming the Bomet Riparian Land Policy, which is in the process of completion now. During their work, even the Flogger people, they involve us, and we have members who are represented in the Bomet side. But to come to the Narok side, actually, they don't even want to know about Ruas. They see Ruas are being political, or the relationship between we have really tried very much to get at least being listened to with the Narok part, but little has been done. The policies were developed without the consent of the Mara River Water Users Association, without even the consent of other Ruas, the small Ruas which are members of the Mara Rua. We were trying to push now the sand harvesting, because that is what is affecting the Mara River. The sand harvesting, in fact, it is the county government who are giving the license to the sand harvesters, and you find that sand harvesting affects the water quantity and the water quality. So we were trying very much to push to see that this sand harvesting bill is put in place, so that our
Bomet County or
Narok
County.
At the Narok County.
Yeah.
With the Bomet, there is no sand harvesting. It is the Narok
So
County.
are you pushing Narok County to formulate a policy on
Sand
harvesting?
Yeah, that is what.
And how far are you with that?
Of late, we are in the starting stage now, and we are seeing that there is fruits.
Okay.
Yeah.
The county government is
The county government is listening now, because we found that we have about 3 rivers which dried because of sand harvesting. We have the Olmeroy, we have the Niagara River, which has dried
because of sand harvesting.
Because of sand harvesting.
Well, now tell me, I know there are several lodges, hotels, and camps along the Masai Mara River and within the reserve.
Yeah.
Is there any role they are playing? Because the conservation the Ruas are doing in the upper catchment, they are the ones who are benefiting, because they are getting water in terms of quality and quantity. So are the hotels doing something to appreciate the good work you are doing in the upper catchment?
Right now they are not doing anything, but we had a conversation with the hoteliers. That was last year during the echo of Corona, which was cut. And recently we were having also that connection, and during the Mara Day, we organized that we would meet, and we are on the plan of meeting with the hoteliers and also the Mara conservancies, so that we can come together and see how we will share the benefits from the Mara.
Do you have some of the hotels who are members of the Rua?
Yeah, of the Ruas downstream, we have some hotels, but very few. Okay. We have one in Lower Mara Imarti, one hotel, which is a member of Mara Imarti, and we also have some few in the lower part.
Thank you. Now, Susan, we know still people or other communities do not have an interest to join water resource use conservation. From the experience having worked in Lake Naivasha Basin for the last 6 or 7 years, what do you think, what strategies can we deploy to bring more people to be members of water resource users association, and specifically women and young people?
Thank you. One of the issues with rural membership is that it is voluntary. You are not coerced to join. You just see the need to join the rural so that you'll be part and parcel of the decision making regarding the conservation of or management of your water resources. Over time, there have been that, they call it anarchy. People are not joining rural, and it has been a concern because this is your resource. And once you are in those rules, you'll be able to make sound decisions on your own resource. But you find that the membership is mostly for the retirees. We've tried to engage youth, but remember, conservation work does not pay immediately. And these young people, they need a livelihood that is paying as soon as possible. In conservation arena, you realize the benefit on a gradual basis. But at the end of the day, you are managing a resource on behalf of others, on behalf of the community. So it reaches a point, if you are not patient enough, you'll find that you better find something else to do. But there are those people, young people, or women and men also, who are finding their niche and they are utilizing that space of green jobs, because we understand also that there are opportunities for green jobs for youth, for women, whereby they start tree nurseries and they get some proceeds from the deforestation programs. Remember, even the government have the 15 billion tree strategy. So if you have a tree nursery, you are guaranteed that once they call for supply of those tree seedlings, then you'll be able to benefit from that opportunity. So we are trying to encourage people that even conservation space pays. Yeah, it has opportunities. It is giving people livelihood. Yeah, if it's farmers, they are farming smart and they are able to get something out of their career. So it is a call to everybody that with these impacts of climate change, whereby rivers are drying, it's so unfortunate that once the rivers dry, people are going the borehole way for groundwater harvesting, whereby they drill boreholes, forgetting that because of catchment degradation, rivers dry, so the recharge rate is fairly low for the groundwater reserves, and it's a food for thought that once these boreholes dry and the surface water has also dried, where will you go? So it is a call to everybody that if it's management of our natural resources, let us all be there. Let us all team up, because at the end of the day, if my river, the river that is near me dries, I don't know where I will run to. And as women, whereby we are tasked with gender roles, finding water for our families, and you have to go for several kilometers, 20 kilometers, just to come with one jerrycan. You take the whole day to get one jerrycan of water. So you will not get value for your time, and you will be exhausted. There are other duties that are waiting for you. Children are going to miss school to go look for water. So if a spring or a river is near you, kindly take care of it. And let us all team up and let our hands be on the deck to protect our natural resources that are ours.
Thank you, indeed. And I'm impressed because you've just put it clearly that water has no alternative. If we mess with the little water we have, then we have messed with our life and we have messed with our planet. And what awaits us is distinction. So we are now approaching to the end of our podcast. And maybe, Grace, I want to go back again to Lake Naivasha. Susan here mentioned that Lake Naivasha is a lake of international importance because of the economic activities around it, because again, it is also recognized as an international bird area. And if business continues as usual, tourism sector continues to encroach into the lake, floriculture continues encroaching into the lake, wastes continue finding their way into the lake as we watch. One, there is a danger of us being struck out of the Montreal record, which now registers all Ramsar sites in Kenya. And for that not to happen, we must have some strategies on how to prevent that. So, as an organization working in Lake Naivasha, what are some of these strategies you would propose to the private sector around Lake Naivasha, to the government of Kenya, and to our development partners, that if we can work together, we will at least safeguard that lake?
Yes, thank you so much, Siri. Before I say what we can do, I want to raise an alarm, and especially to those people in abroad who are the customers of the flowers that come from our flower farms, and those tourists that comes from abroad, and they come to our hotels. First of and foremost is to say that if a flower is sold in abroad, maybe in Holland and Netherlands or those, first thing is that they should know that those people that are dealing, that the floriculture farms and the horticulture farmers,
Yep.
they are doing their work in Kenya illegally. Yes, because whenever you dispose all those wastes in the lake, you are affecting the community from where that flower is coming from. So I think the podcast that you are in, I wish it, and I hope it will go everywhere in this world, so that they not, and that I've set an alarm. If nothing changes from those horticultural and floriculture or those flower farms, there is a big danger in the communities in Kenya. For those tourists and hotels, those tourists, maybe they are very happy when they come to some of the hotels that have set the perimeter walls, that are feeding hippopotamus.
Yes.
You know, and they feel good because they see the hippos around them, very near to them. They are doing harm, and a great harm, to the Kenyan community, and especially us that we depend on Lake Naivasha, and especially all those people, the population are everywhere in Kenya, because and everybody in the world, because Naivasha being a Ramsar site, it is of international importance. Let me tell you, CEO, that we should know that even the birds, most of the birds are coming to extinct. Yeah, those birds, those beautiful birds, there were so many, but now some of them they are no longer there, because of the harm that and the pollution that is done in Lake Naivasha. Yeah, the habitation is affected. So we expect, and we also say that if we don't change, if nothing happens, I believe in the near future, there will be no Lake Naivasha. It will be a barren lake. It will just be water on the ground that bears nothing. So it's good to understand that measures must be taken. One, from those hotels, from those flower farms, they must do what is right in terms of solid and liquid waste. Yeah, in terms of artificial wetlands, about biodigester, we know there are some biodigesters that are they're just there, but they are not functional. There are those artificial wetlands, they are there, they are fixed there, but they don't function. In Lanabra, we have been having a program whereby we classify those hotels and flower farms that they are doing those. They have those artificial wetlands and those. They do the right. Are they Afro-Vista?
Yes, and waste management.
And waste management, whatever those procedures. And out of all those hotels and flower farms, which are hundreds, there are less than 5 that does the right thing. So we need everybody on board to do what is right, starting from the investors, with the communities and everybody. And also, I would advise the enforcement in Kenya, the relevant authorities. That is the WRI, we have NEMA, we have even the Kenya fisheries, we have county fisheries,
KWS.
we have KWS, we have whoever, but whichever authority that is supposed to enforce in that lake to do what is right.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of corruption around because you get some hotels, they have the stop orders. They should stop what they are doing, but they don't.
They could continue and
They continue and do the perimeter walls. They put electric fences, whereby the hippopotamus now they can. You know the nature of a hippo. It is during the day they stay in the waters, and during the night they go and feed. They cannot go and feed because of those electric fencing that has been done around in some hotels. That has led to a lot of human conflict. There is 2, 3 to 4 fishermen that are being killed by hippos every month. Can get the record from KWS.
Yeah.
We have even a group, a self-help group, people living with disability, not because they were born, but they were attacked by hippos. Because hippos does not have the way out. Their corridors, they are all encroached. So there is a lot of problem around the lake. There is backfilling. That backfilling is resulting to siltation in Lake Naivasha, leading to flooding. We understand that when the rains come, we see flooding all over, which is not flooding. The lake is full of siltation.
Yeah.
You see the poor agricultural practices in the upper catchment.
Yes.
Now come, it has started around the lake. We have agriculture taking place around the lake.
Yeah.
Pesticides.
Yeah.
Yeah, which leads to it affects the water plants, the aquatic life. They also affect the fish. There are some fish in the last 4 or 5 years. There were some species that they are no more today.
Which species are these that are no more?
We had fish that was known as crayfish. There is no more crayfish today because they used to breed in those shores, but the vegetation was cleared. That crayfish, there was another fish that was called black bass that was feeding on crayfish, but because crayfish was depleted, then the black bass got into extinct. Meaning what? They are now depending on 2 species of fish. That is tilapia, 3 types of fish. Species tilapia and tilapia, common carp, and catfish. Now where are we heading? Now the vegetation around the lake, it has been cleared and people has done infrastructure in those areas. This has led to what? There is nowhere for tilapia to breed. They breed at the shores. So now tilapia, we don't have fish in Lake Naivasha. There is shortage of fish in Lake Naivasha, leading to low and problems in livelihood. What will that cause to our settlements around the lake, which are 5 settlements? Insecurity. Because those stomach used to eat. What will happen to that population around the lake? There will be a lot of problems. Those children will not be fed, and therefore there will not be enough money or enough resources, leading even to dropouts, leading even to some other very bad things around. So people in abroad should know the problems they are facing down here. Being a Ramsar site, it is just about to be declared a normal lake or a barren lake. To avoid that, people in abroad should also insist that the flowers where the flower farms, they should follow the standards so that they don't affect the community around them. The other thing that we are doing is that we are trying to restore the buffer zones, so that the pollution that is being done around the lake, so that water can be saved, so that it is clear and for the quality purposes. The other thing we have also said, we are trying to plant. We are proposing to do papyrus reeds and bamboo, so that we can also have vegetation around the lake for the breeding of the tilapia and other fish that do breed in the shores,
Yeah.
so that we can take back our livelihoods, so that people can go back to their normal life. So that's what we are trying to do, and we are also trying to push on enforcement on those authorities. Like we have a very good authority, that is service, that is the Kenya Coast Guard Service, that came in Lake Naivasha. They are doing very well in security issues. Although even if they do that part of the security, they have also issues, because those people who have encroached, they are making their work to be very difficult because of the hippos and those fishermen. So if those corridors are not open, then they still have problems. People will still be killed by hippos. So they are trying their best to save those lives. They are also trying to do the illegal fishing has reduced so much. So that is also helping us in the fish production. And also they are also trying to bring sanity in the lake, so that no harm is being, not much harm is being done in the lake. They are also providing security around the lake for those hoteliers and those flower farms. And therefore, if every authority, if WRA comes in and says, no, we are not going to pollute this water, then we shall have our Lake Naivasha as usual. If NEMA comes in and says, no, you're not going to be doing this backfilling and all these things, and this farming that is done around the lake, then the deal is done. If also the NEMA deals with the waste management, then we are good. Then Naivasha will be as productive as before. Because if our grandfathers and grandmothers destroyed Lake Naivasha, then we as fisherwomen and fishermen, we could not be getting anything from that lake. So if what we can do is trying to work on enforcement so much on those authorities, which we are doing as Ilanabla, as Lake Naivasha Basin Landscape. And we thank also our WWF, because it has enabled us to do the advocacy, to do the capacity building on those communities around Lake Naivasha, all stakeholders, so that we can be able to come together and have a solution on how we can have a productive lake. And also, if we have a productive lake, the fishermen will be okay, the horticulture will be productive, floriculture, hoteliers, and everything will go well, and everything will be smooth.
And everybody will be happy.
And everybody will benefit.
Great. Thank
no
you.
child will die.
Thank you so much, Grace. I think you have touched very, very pertinent points.
Yes.
And I'm happy that you've called upon the government agencies that are mandated to protect and manage the Lake Naivasha riparian. And indeed, they are doing their work because they are giving orders to those investors who have encroached. But now the problem is they are still proceeding with the development on riparian land. So it's a call to government agencies working in the environment sector. It's a call to us as communities really to stand up for this lake, because all of us need this lake. Whether you are a flower farmer, whether you are a hotelier, a small-scale farmer, a pastoralist, we all need this lake. Therefore, we need to work together. So thank you very much. So coming to you, Madam Rose. Again, I want to congratulate you for being a rural chairlady, which is a very, very unique thing in Kenya. What message can you give to your fellow women to encourage them to take up positions in Water Resource Users Association and be part and parcel of managers of our water resources?
Thank you very much. To our dear women here in Kenya, and even in other countries, because water is everywhere, let's take this responsibility, because when we look at the water itself, the people who use the water mostly are women.
Yes.
I repeat this again. Women need more water than men. When we come to the boy child and the girl child, you find that the girl child needs a lot of water than the boy child. So let's take this urge of us women and girls wanting more water to want also to protect this water more. Because if we don't protect this water, it will obviously go and we will not get it anywhere, as we have said earlier. So we need to protect this water. We need to go in and fight for that, because we are the users of this water. There is nothing difficult. What a man can do, a woman can do.
Absolutely.
And when we go to the Bible, when we go further, we are given 5 common senses as the men were given the 5 common senses. So there is nothing that is difficult from doing it.
And women should not be afraid. Let me just add you on this, because I see in most rulers, women come in leadership through co-option.
Yeah.
Why do they always have to depend on being co-opted other than presenting themselves to be elected? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see, most of these women, they still have that traditional idea of being at home and sitting back there. We are no longer at home and sitting back. This economy does not need anybody to sit back.
Exactly.
We need to fight and go forward.
Yes.
So, women, can you come back? Can you come up and fight for your seats?
Thank you very
We
much.
have our governors who are women, and they are doing wonderful work.
Absolutely.
So even us as women who are in the water sectors, we should go forward and work and impress even the men in the work that we do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rose, for that parting shot. Susan, lastly, WRA, the Water Resources Regulation 2021 requires that all rulers must be compliant in terms of filing returns to the AG and filing returns to WRA and having an MOU with WRA. Most of the rulers in Naivasha are not compliant. What are you doing about that? And what message do you have for the rulers in Naivasha listening to us this evening for them to really take up this issue of being non-compliant?
Thank you, Sue. In Lake Naivasha Basin, I want to congratulate the rulers in Lake Naivasha Basin. We are doing great and they are taking up the space. In terms of compliance, we are forging forward to being compliant. You find that Lake Yago is not compliant because there is one minor issue that they have not done. But we are still continuing to empower them so that they are compliant. Right now we have 8 out of 12 rulers who are compliant. I think WRA will update that list come next year. And the 4 that are not compliant, we are still continuing to push and to collaboratively work with them so that where they have not been compliant, they are going to be compliant. We know the task ahead for rulers, it's a huge one, being a voluntary work. We understand most of their time, they contribute their time voluntarily, they contribute also their resources to bring this community together so that they can be able to advocate for the water resources that they are in their catchment. So I want to commend them for the good job, and I want to wish them the best, and they continue doing the good work and they continue being compliant so that you understand that even the development partners, be it whoever want to give you some funding, they need you to be compliant. So I call for everyone to be compliant.
Thank you very much, ladies. I think we have come.
there is something which you
Yes.
have not asked me, CEO, about women in fisheries.
Yes.
To be a leader in fisheries sector is not a joke. And I was expecting you to ask me what we are doing as women and what we are planning.
Yeah. Please tell us.
Yeah, personally, as I'm the first patrol leader as a woman in history, and I believe in Kenya, not only in Naivasha, but I believe in making leaders. So I would like to tell you, since I started this leadership 4 years ago, every beach has, every executive, every committee has more than 5 leaders, which has never been seen and heard. So every beach has, and especially all vice chairmen and women. So we are fighting for the next election which is coming next year. We also advocating for, out of 5 beaches, we are advocating for 3 of the beaches to have women as chairpersons.
Nice.
Also, we have groups, we have women groups in the fisheries sector that we are planning ourselves so that the coming Kenyan election 2027, you must come up with either one or two. Either want to be a member of parliament, they want to be in the county assembly, because forge ahead on the, we want to advocate also to fight for the policies, because we understood that without the policies, some advocacy sometimes becomes something that is not being fed. So we want those people who will go to those parliaments and make bills, come up with bills and policies that are featuring women in the fisheries sector.
Yeah.
That is what we want to do, and that is what we find. For now, if I can say that, when I was being elected for the first time, there were less than 5 women who were boat owners, who owned the boats, the fishing vessels. But now over 40% of women, they are owning fishing vessels.
Yeah.
And some crews are now women. Women could not, traditionally women believe they should not go to the lake to fish. But nowadays they do. They wear those big clothes and they go to fish. So in the coming 3, 4, 5 years, I believe almost 70% will be women.
Correct.
Because there is a lot of development when the women leadership is in the system. So we are proposing that.
Great. Thank you so much for that addition. Yes.
Yeah, can I make a call that we understand that RUA does not have a concrete funding model, and it's a pity, because what they are doing, they are safeguarding these water resources on behalf of the current and the future generation. So I understand in the Water Resource Regulations 2021, there was the consideration of drawback of a certain percentage to the RUAs to enable them to continue safeguarding and protecting the water resources. But I understand it has not been effected, and I stand to be corrected. So I call even up to the government that let us make this water resource management workable and sustainable, and let it also be easy to this community having some funding to protect.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those last words, and I think we have come to an end of our broadcast. Thank you so much for the discussion. Thank you so much for the points you have put forward to our listeners. And our listeners, there you are. You have the information. And as usual, keep following us in our X Twitter handle or X handle at Kenya RUAS, and then also follow us on our LinkedIn at Kenya National Water Resource Users Association, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is at Kenya RUAS. Asanteni sana, and have a blessed evening and night ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.